Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How you doing today? Do me a favor. If you're watching this sometime between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., leave a comment below with what time it is. I just want to give you a special shout out. Actually, Matt and I will both do that. How you doing, buddy?
They likely will see me on the message board at that time because right now my son's going through sleep regression.
Oh,
So I'm
yay.
just like, buddy, go back to sleep. And he's like, and then he falls back to sleep and he's snoring. And I'm like, I can't go back to sleep. All right, I'll watch some YouTube. Yeah, that's my life. Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, hey, one of the things that people know me for is I always talk about the affordability index, right? I wrote
Yeah.
about it in my book. It's the thing that's kind of the yellow, red flag for me about, or, green, yellow, red, when to get in, when to be cautious, when to get out.
Yep.
And you've been looking at the affordability index for New Hampshire. So what are you seeing out there?
So Mike, we have broken our all-time record. We are now at a 4.
Wow. So let's put this in context. So a 4, right? Because every state or region will do theirs differently.
Yep.
When you say break a record of 4, I'm assuming you meaning it's the lowest affordability, which means the most dangerous time you've ever seen.
Yeah. So the way our state does it is because of the crash and adjustments in the crash from back when.
Mhm.
They actually have a scale of 0 to, I think we went as high as 300.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Where it was like super affordable. And if you could fog a mirror, like you could buy, I mean, there were literally houses for sale in the northern part of our state that were like $10,000.
Oh,
You
wow.
get a house, like you couldn't even buy it for that. Yeah. I
Wow.
mean, you couldn't even build it for that.
Yeah.
So it was, but yeah, this one just came out. We actually had, so the way New Hampshire scores it is it's the same thing with median income versus median sales price.
Yep.
Right. Same thing, same
thing.
idea. And so we came in at 104, which is a 4 compared to what Fresno is.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I would call that unaffordable. It might be a time to, if I had a 4 in Fresno, you better believe I would be selling every single house I owned.
Yep.
I mean,
So
that's what I believe.
we transitioned out of so in the last, so the nice thing is kind of reading those and understanding my market, understanding what's going on.
Mhm.
In January it was like 18, and so it was still really low.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, but we made the decision then, we're like, it's 18, that's too low, that's too not enough people,
Right.
making enough money to buy these houses, these single families. There's all the external influence from Massachusetts coming in, New York
Mhm.
coming in.
Yeah.
And so I just said to my wife, I said, I'm transitioning out of all of our single family stuff. It's the market's way too hot. It's not understanding. It's not computing. The rents don't justify the mortgages
Wow.
anymore.
Yeah.
They were going to, everybody that's buying, if you're buying those single families as a rental property, it was going to be an alligator for you.
Oh,
The only way that it made sense is if you're going to buy it and occupy it.
yeah, of course.
And so we took our entire portfolio of single family homes and we sold every single one of them, but one. We only kept one.
Wow.
And so we sold all the others. And then every month it's gotten worse. It went to 14, it went to 12, it went to 9, it went to 7. And then this month went to 4.
That's amazing. And again, that's the affordability index for me really is green, yellow, red, right? And you get to a point where it says, hey, sell. It doesn't mean it can't go lower, as you've seen, right?
Sure.
It can get more nuts. We are in a very odd time where you're seeing external forces, which New Hampshire hasn't seen, right? Massachusetts, people moving, New York, people moving for tax reasons and all of that. And they're really going from rental stock to owners. And that's the only way it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the only way it makes sense.
The scary thing is, as we look at it, right, 104 is that obviously that's median income versus median sales price, right? I think we can go sub 100. I think we can go where the median sales price is higher than the median income in our state. I think that's where we can go. And for those, so I watch a lot of, obviously all the stuff, a lot of stuff that you do, not all of it, but a lot of stuff that you do, a lot of stuff other people do. Our year over year price appreciation, do you know what it was? 1 year?
18.
23.7.
Oh, Jesus.
23.7, Mike.
Yeah, that can't continue.
No, that is wicked unhealthy. And here's the thing. That was year over year. I mean, most of these properties that I had, I was in some towns that, Mike, literally I bought one for 115. I put 60 into it. So I was into it for 175. It sold 30,000 over ask. Same day it was listed, 305. This was like in the last 60 days.
Wow.
And so we just literally said, listen, we're 1031. We did 3 1031s.
Yeah.
And those 3 single family properties turned into 7 more buildings.
There you go. Yeah. You know what? I think I did that. I did that in my book.
Mike, is this ringing a bell?
Yeah,
Just ring the bell.
I've been there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did that. Like,
so it's
06.
like,
Yeah.
and everything is cyclical, right? Like we did 1031s over a decade ago.
Mhm.
And now recently in the last couple of years, I've done a lot more 1031s because I was
Of course.
transitioning out of those single family assets.
Yeah.
And some assets, quite frankly, some assets that were duplexes that were just, for some reason, there were a couple comps in those areas that just went completely nutso.
Yeah.
And we just said, okay, we're not telling the market that it's wrong. We're agreeing. We're going to put it on the market. We're going to sell it and we're going to capitalize on it and 1031 it and go into some other stuff.
That's amazing. That's funny. So what I'm seeing in Fresno, California is a little bit different. Like we started like 9 months ago, I believe these will be close. Like it was like 47 or 48.
Okay.
And just to put it in context, for Fresno, danger for me is like yellow flag is 25, red flag is 20, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we're comfortable. 45 is comfortable, right? I think the highest we got was like 68. So, you know, it's, and again, my number, California Association, car.org is
0 to 100, right?
I think it's 1 to 100. I don't think it can be 0.
Yeah, okay. 1 to 100. Okay.
Yeah, 1 to 100.
Sure.
So we're comfortable. At least 9 months ago we are. But we have seen price appreciation pretty substantial. Interest rates have ticked up. So that's the beauty of the affordability index is people don't get it. There's actually 3 variables. And right now, all 3 variables are changing. Yes. I believe right now Fresno's at 42. So again, still healthy, but it's moving quicker than previous times because prices are accelerating and interest rates up, which is kind of a double whammy. But there is this third thing called income, which I believe, at least as I look forward the next 12 to 18 months, I do believe wage inflation is real. I believe the employee will have the power. And I think wages are going to go up, right? Wages in Fresno really haven't moved. I think in the decade, they went from like 48 to 53 or maybe 49 to 54, something like that.
Yeah,
I bet in a year or 18 months, it could see that much again, which will help with affordability. So in my market of Fresno, I'm keeping all my houses right now. I'm certainly watching them. I'm actually in my market, houses are better values than multifamily. And when I say multifamily, I'm not talking fourplexes. I'm talking commercial stuff. Because there's a lot of outside money, dumb money putting in, you know, they're buying Class C stuff that needs work for just ridiculous cap rates.
Retail prices. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happened with that $1.5 million deal I was working on. It was at best a B minus, but much more like a C plus. And the number was like, it was an A.
Yeah. It's crazy, which is going to burn people. What I see in commercial right now is what happened in residential. You have bad lending standards, you have dumb money, and what's going to happen is when the interest rate unlocks or resets, that's when pain will be occurred. But guess what? That's 2 or 3 years from now. So I'm going to be buying every house I can, at least in Fresno, for the next 2 years. But it's crazy to see. That is so weird. You're just seeing outside money when these people probably have higher incomes, I'm going to guess.
Yes. So it's higher incomes, but it's also, you know, much like people find in California, right?
Yeah.
You own a 3-bedroom ranch in Menlo Park. And that thing's worth like what, $1.6 million?
Easy.
You can get a 3-bedroom ranch here for 310.
Yeah.
So when you bought that, it wasn't 1.6 or 1.7, it was, you know, 700, 800K or whatever. So you're selling that house, moving to New Hampshire, you know, pocketing your $500,000 tax free, putting $300,000, buying that house for cash, then refining it out. Like, the numbers get crazy, but that's the scary thing is like same thing across the border in Massachusetts. You know, there's stuff around Boston that is those kind of crazy numbers for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch, and you can pay over $1 million for it. Yeah.
So the big thing, if I was sitting in your shoes, which I know nothing about your market, I would be trying to figure out, is this influx of people, is anything going to cause that to boomerang and they're going to exit? Because if they ever do, that will see because again, that they will likely do it. Again, people are just so creatures of habit. Yes. If for whatever reason they have to boomerang back and they have to go back to the office, you're going to see a lot of listings from people that overpaid, and it'll be an interesting time to pick up some deals.
Well, what they end up doing is they Waze it and they say, "Oh yeah, well it says it's only like a 40-minute commute." Yeah, you Waze it on Saturday, jackass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when was the open house? Sunday. You got here in 38 minutes. Cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then it's not Monday.
Monday morning, it's an hour 48. Enjoy your parking lot, bro. And that's what I lived through. I commuted 84 miles every way each day to my office, each way. I did that. And the funny thing is the last 12 miles took me as long as the first 70. It was brutal, but I did that because I wanted to be in New Hampshire, and that's what we did. And then I moved down to the city for a while, and then I was like, I hate this. And
I'm out of here.
And I moved back home. But yeah, I think a lot of these people are going to boomerang. I think some of them are going to, I think there's also a lot of cash too that's, bought a lot of second homes. New Hampshire's an amazing, amazing place. Like literally within an hour, I can be in Boston. I can be on the top of Mount Washington, and I can ski, and I can be in a river, and I can be in a lake. I have all of that stuff, and I can be in the ocean. Oh, wow. So I have all of that stuff at my disposal in less than an hour. That's why so many people move to New Hampshire. And it's tax-free, no income tax, no sales tax.
Yeah.
But don't come to New Hampshire. Yeah, don't come to New Hampshire. It's horrible. There's beasts in the woods.
Yeah, there's no water. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what I meant to say is the ocean's polluted, the lakes are polluted too. The mountains are horrible. You never want to see any such an ugly thing. It's just a big mountain of rock. Who cares? Yeah, no. And that's why, I mean, yeah, exactly. Don't come here. Yeah. And so we love it. And that's one of those things where, like I said, a lot of people have moved. And it's a completely different world. So I think there's going to be a lot of people, not a lot, but there's going to be a number of people enough to move markets a little bit that are going to say, oh, I can't take the fact that the grocery store closes at 9 p.m. I can't take the fact that there's, you have to drive 15 minutes to find a gas station that's open at 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of that transition. So that's what I think is going to happen over the next few years. But for me, just like we always talk about, which is I'll sell in a 4 all day long.
Yeah. And then you'll sit, wait.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Just sit and wait. And the duplexes, quads or tries and quads are all growing
there you go.
Significantly in value, but the rents are going there too. And so on the single families, it was just, this is an asset that's very easy to unload. And quite frankly, it fueled us being able to buy and lock in at a decent rate on 7 more properties.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing, dude. Believe me, I would. If I ever saw 4, if I ever saw a 9, it'd be like, honey, we're about to get very liquid.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the other thing too is that now's the opportunity, right? Where there's that convergence. There's this unaffordability. So it means prices are super high, also compared to what rates are. Yeah. So when you see that in unaffordability, refi.
Yeah. Exactly.
Refi when you see that, because that's what the value you're getting out of that property. So that's why we're, refining the rest of our portfolio. So literally the oldest or the youngest piece of debt that I will have on my entire portfolio will be 5 years.
That's amazing.
So I don't have to think about anything for 5 years.
That's amazing.
It's a good
thing. This has been a great conversation today. I loved all 3 episodes. How can people find you?
Lumberjacklandlord.com, Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube, and House Hackologist in Mike's One Rental at a Time course.
Dude, that house hacking bonus section is going to change lives. I appreciate that.
I expect so. You're very welcome. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate the time.
You got it. Thanks.
Take care.